Hello, welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with your friends and get your gaming goodness each and every Monday. My name's John White. Joining me on the couch this week, Ashley Hobley.
Hey, John. Excited to have you back after you abandoned us last week.
Okay.
Just saved your face now.
Also here, Ciaran Marchant.
Our moment of not discussing his abandonment of the podcast is now up and over. Out of respect for Dylan, we didn't talk about it last week and waited for him to appear before us on the show. How fucking dare you?
All I want to say, to the point of me being so prepared to just listen to the start of the show shit talk me, is I was driving to work the next morning, Monday morning, with someone else in my car, and I quickly turned on the clip to play, and it was like, just give me 2 seconds, I just need to quickly hear the start of this to see what they say, and then paused it after he didn't start talking shit about me. Because I was like, let me just quickly check. Just quickly see what's up here. All right, let's dive into this first. So, reading from press start, this morning. Bungie confirmed via an update via their website that their next content update for Destiny 2 set to release on June 9th would be the game's last, and they end support to focus on new projects. The final update will deliver on several of the most common play requests from the game's lifetime, including the return of the mission director, Sparrow League Racing, and a new Pantheon Raid boss gauntlet for the endgame players to sink their teeth into. Bungie also notes that they're aiming to deliver small character beats to leave both the story and its characters in interesting places, all the while delivering a few callbacks and touching on the game's core themes. It's hard to speculate what Bungie will begin to work on next. However, it's assumed they'll continue to support Marathon, which is just weeks away from its second season, which should help boost its dwindling numbers. So Destiny seems to be coming to a end from all reports. There's been other non-confirmed reports, but people like Jason Schreier and stuff saying that like there's no current plans to do anything else. There's no Destiny 3. There's no anything like that. Ciaran, as someone who spent a bit of time in Destiny and stuff, at least, or and we all know how big Destiny is and has been as part of, I don't know, the last 15 years probably or whatever, as a mainstay live service game and sort of the golden child for live service games. How's it feel to know that Destiny sort of there's no more?
I think it's sad. Especially, I think Destiny has been a constant in terms of its time from Destiny 1 through to Destiny 2. The constant, like, it did well enough as, I guess you call it almost an MMO. Like, it did well enough to contain that and to manage that throughout its time, but the sad thing is, I don't think what makes this most sad is, personally, I don't think we see either... We don't see another installment of Destiny either for a very long time or ever again. I think this is truly the sunset moment of Destiny as a franchise. I think PlayStation's ownership of Bungie, I think, leads to PlayStation wanting Bungie to make exclusive IP. We've seen in the last couple of weeks, PlayStation officially announced that they're not going to, at least for their single player content, not going to make any more PC focused games. So I don't even think Bungie's stuff gets onto PC with it, or it's not timely on PC. And so I don't believe Bungie carries on without, that's so much of their market, so much of their fan base that they can't put the game out to anymore. So I think it almost feels hollow if they were to only put it on PlayStation going forward. And I don't think it would have the same kind of impact or effect anymore. So I think this is a sign of Bungie, much the same as, and we've been through this before with feeling the iteration of Bungie leaving Halo and never working on a Halo again. I think this is the same time skip. I don't know if the same changing of the times. I don't know how well PlayStation is viewing Marathon, but I'm curious to see what's next for Bungie, because either Bungie ends up working on their own IP, focusing on Marathon, and then helping out with all of PlayStation's other studios if they have issues with shooting mechanics, or Bungie gets left to their own devices to make something big, because I think PlayStation expected Bungie to do something big. It's almost like they wanted Marathon to be the big thing. It's doing well, but it isn't the big thing that they wanted it to be.
Yeah, so from all basically the reporting, the narrative is end of Destiny 2. They're also letting go a bunch of staff, and then what staff are left are all being pushed onto Marathon. But then, as Jason Schreier and other people have sort of said, if Destiny 3 is to ever happen, it's not going to happen anytime soon because they're getting rid of a bunch of staff, and they would need to then staff back up to do that. And that staffing decision may come from PlayStation, as much as they're apparently in charge of their own creative direction and whatnot, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. From memory, there was like some sort of arrangement where if they didn't hit a certain amount of benchmarks, Sony would take full creative control or something like that. Something along those lines, which I suspect they haven't hit. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a change of leadership, or it's like put in stone that, Bungie works for Herman at this point, and wants to do what he goes forward. I would be surprised if we never get a Destiny 3. Like, that is too big of a franchise to not do something down the line. It might not be the next thing they work on. I would imagine if PlayStation had their way, they would do some like a first person, like a single player campaign, like a Halo game next. But I imagine anything they're going to do next is still very early in pre-production, which is playing the staff loss if they're not working on Destiny anymore.
Yeah, they paid a lot of money for Bungie, and presumably they thought it was and at the time, I mean, I would have said the same thing, which was that it's you're buying a big money printing machine in Destiny 2, which when they brought them was still sort of in its limelight and popularity, but has dwindled in the years since PlayStation purchased them, and Destiny 2 hasn't proven, I don't think, to be the money printing live service success machine that they wanted it to. And then obviously they've launched Marathon to meh, I think is a reasonable, like, it's not like it's a particularly bad game or anything like that. I just think the general consensus is meh.
I think the general, it's come too late.
Yeah.
When Arc Raiders has already got the market.
Well, even then, Arc Raiders is probably, its time is a little done already. Like, I haven't heard anybody speak about Arc Raiders for the better part of a month or two. Like I think that game's had its honeymoon period and either is waiting for more, or I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's hard. This is, I mean, we talked about this a lot. Obviously, it's just the infighting for genres in which people, the player base, just want to sort of play one game in said genre, especially when it comes to live service games and anything that's a live service, a sub-adjacent sort of game. Like obviously Destiny, Arc Raiders, Marathon, all these live service games, they may play different, have different sort of fan bases and structure to them. Like obviously Destiny leans more into that like MMO like live service thing, whereas Arc Raiders and Marathon, there are this live service, what do we call them, like extraction shooters. But they all have, to a degree, are fighting for the same player base, whereas the benefit always has been for years of, and I mean, this isn't particularly too different because the same could be said about general multiplayer for like Call of Duties and stuff like that, of course, but it just goes to show that you're still fighting for some of that COD audience, but then COD players may dip off, play a Marathon for a couple of weeks, but then they just come back to COD. You're constantly just getting this leaky bucket effect, so it's like if you have a slow trickle of players out of this slow leaking bucket, you need the water tap to also be refilling it at a higher rate, or at least the same rate that the leakage is sort of happening, if I'm going to use some weird analogy there. But I mean, it's just the modern age thing where, and maybe that's why Sony wants to, I don't the news report in front of me, but obviously Sony's whole thing last week where it was, we're just going back, we're focusing on single player games again, we're focusing on getting off the PC exclusives. Like they want people to pay that full price for the PlayStation experience on the PlayStation branded box. And yeah, I guess PlayStation has always seen great success and turnaround profit wise when it comes to their big budget franchise games, be it Ghosts, The Last of Us, Uncharted, God of War, whatever else that I can't think of off the top of my head. Horizon, shit like that. So, but yeah, no, I don't think if we ever see a Destiny 3, I don't think it's going to come for a long time, to be honest. I don't want to say it's like never going to happen, but there's no pre-production plans. There's no, it might happen in a couple of years. There's no, like, I think they're going to be put to work they have to earn their stripes back to get that or something, I think. So, yeah, so I don't know where all those players go is my other big question. For all the Destiny diehards who are, daily, what do you call them? Daily quest completionists, weekly quest completionists, all those people that have been doing that in past Destiny. Once they're at a run of content here, they're just going to keep playing the same loot when there's not stuff being added and updated as much and new expansions and content on the horizon, or do they transition across to a different franchise?
And then you ask the question is, how long do Bungie / PlayStation keep the servers going for, Like, at some point, it's got to turn it all off and say goodbye,
I know. Is Destiny still alive? The first one?
No. There's even Destiny 2 content that they killed, and you can't have access to anymore.
Yeah, video game industry is a interesting beast. Talking about PlayStation Note, just PSA for everyone quickly that we have a big PlayStation State of Play coming. So reading again from Press Start, massive 60-minute PlayStation State of Play has been announced, and we'll kick off with another look at Marvel's Wolverine and a bunch of upcoming PS5 games as well. This one has been announced a bit in advance, taking place on June 3rd at 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And interestingly, PlayStation is putting up a theatre showcase for it too, which leads to speculation it will be bigger than usual. PlayStation said in the announcement, State of Play returns with more than 60 minutes updates, announcements, and gameplay reveals from top studios around the world. To kick things off, you'll get a closer look at Marvel's Wolverine, and Insomniac Games will share more from its upcoming third-person action-adventure game, showing off Logan's brutal and ruthless combat, along with some new details on this all-new take on the comic book legend launching on PS5 September 15th. So this is, the first time PlayStation is doing a in-person event of any sort in,
since, I
don't know, 7-8 years.
It was
Ghost
of Tsushima.
Last of Us,
Ghost of Tsushima.
Last of Us.
What were the
and something else? There was a third thing. I can't remember what it was though. But there was a third thing. It was the one where they rotated everyone through different barnyards, basically, rooms and stuff like that.
It was just the Last of Us set, and then they moved everybody to
it was a bunch.
Proper.
Yeah. But they haven't done anything in person since then. So outside of might have been, I don't know. But outside of Wolverine, which we know about, Ciaran, if they're doing a big live, they're always live technically, but if they're doing an in-person, making this one in-person for people to attend and get some live cinematic shots of people reacting to news, what are they showing?
They've got to be showing some big... It's not... What are they showing? But they need to show... They need to / have to show more IPs beyond Intergalactic Heretic Prophet. They need to show new IPs that are coming out in the future and building the future of PlayStation. Because what is there to look forward to on PlayStation other than that game, really, at the moment? Like, you've had your Saros release. Wolverine's on the horizon, but then beyond Wolverine is Intergalactic, which we don't know how far off that game is.
It'll
be, a couple years at the very least. So, what do PlayStation fans or people who own a PlayStation, what's going to make them keep turning on their PlayStation? You've got Xbox is rebuilding itself and seems to have a really good future catalog showing. You've got Steam is now showing itself as branching itself beyond the PC and now is offering the Steam machine, and that comes out and the specs come out with that coming up. So at some point, PlayStation need to understand and need to not realize, but need to work on the fact that they need to re-cement themselves as the big daddy G of fucking console gaming and first party exclusives and interesting IP, and we just need to see more of it. We need to get past the worlds of them showing one after the other fucking multiplayer live service games. Like, tip into your back catalog of amazing franchises if you have to. See what the fuck is Sony Bend doing, you know? Like there's so many of their stellar teams that just seem to have been on ice or seem to have been helping other teams with other projects that have since come out. Well, of course, we're going to see the Horizon multiplayer game there. Like, that's definitely going to be there. But we just need more. We need an explosive, this is the future of PlayStation showing. And not in terms of a console, but in terms of IP.
What IP would you like to see?
You see, I'd love them to either, another Ratchet and Clank, or, dig deep and go for a Sly Cooper, or bring, another... Fuck, they're not going to, because Naughty Dog is working so hard on Intergalactic, but, like, another Uncharted, right? Like... Or I just want, to be honest, I just want refreshing new things. I think PlayStation for too long now has relied on like 3 or 4, maybe 5 IPs in terms of God of War, Horizon. Why is my brain going blank? Or like the Marvel suite that they have now with Spider-Man and now Wolverine. Like, I think they don't expand themselves more as much in terms of its single player IPs anymore. And I think it would be nice for them to have a mixture of stuff they've gone back to, but then also new iterations, new fresh stuff.
What do you reckon, Ash?
No, I reckon it's interesting that it is an in-person event. Like, obviously, what does that say for what they're going to show at Summer Games Fest? Jeff probably going to save their biggest stuff for this. I think, if they're doing an in-person event, I think the expectations are higher. But we're going to see not just stuff that's going to be soon, but stuff that's like the future, that's like the next few years of content. So you would expect the Cory Barlog game, the next thing from Bend. Like, are they making that Uncharted game that's been rumored? But I wouldn't be surprised if it's more really big third-party stuff. Like, this is whether it's revealed Kingdom Hearts 4 or the next Final Fantasy 7 game is revealed, or stuff like that. So I think expectations are high just because you don't go and do a live in-person event unless you've got the stuff to make it to please an in-person crowd.
I think if you go Mother Wolverine plus Intergalactic Heretic Prophecy, Prophet. Is it Prophecy or Prophet? I can't remember. Anyway,
Heretic Prophet?
Yeah,
is it?
I think it's Prophet.
Heretic Prophet. Yeah.
I think those two are here's what you can look forward to playing September this year, and here's what you can look forward to playing September next year, sort of tent polling, and then they're going to have to fill it with a bunch of shit in between. So the other stuff you'd see in between is you'll have more Marvel fighting token fighter, because that, as much as we may not care about it, is a huge thing for PlayStation and an investment from them. They want that to be pretty much the next big fighting game, and it's exclusive to them as well, and take over Evo and stuff like that. There has been rumors of a Stellar Blade sequel announcement recently, so that was another sort of surprise hit for them, like exclusive. I know it came to PC as well, but you'll see that. I'd say maybe only because they announced it. I'm saying maybe just because of the wording they had when they announced it a couple months ago, or whenever it was. But you got that God of War Remaster collection. They haven't actually shown gameplay of that.
No way they're going to do it. They said it's so far away.
Yeah, I don't know.
They barely started.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think if I was going to go, I think I know the internet's been a little bit, people are like on both sides of this week from everything I've been reading. I think there could be a Grand Theft Auto 6 teaser cinematic trailer in here, and Rockstar saved their gameplay stuff for their own stream. PlayStation has a marketing deal that's been pretty much leaked and confirmed. Like everyone said, that's a legit thing. They just haven't officially started it, but PlayStation has a Grand Theft Auto 6 marketing deal of some kind. We just don't know all the details. So they could get a cinematic trailer in here for it, and I think that would fit without sense. Yeah, and then it ends with a see more on this date for
pre-orders now. Yeah,
something like that. I know Ciaran was shaking his head, but I don't think you had the marketing deal news as part of your
rationale
coming across for that one. So
yeah, no, I guess it didn't. It's more. Once again, I feel like Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. I even don't feel like Grand Theft Auto should show up at fucking Jeff Keighley events. Like, I just think like it is such a big phenomenon in itself that it's like it doesn't need to show up in these places.
It doesn't need to, but I just think if PlayStation's paid money for if they've made a marketing deal, Take-Two, I reckon part of that contract is before you show it at Jeff's show, before you show it at your own show, we get a quick it's seen first in a state of play.
Okay.
And that's part of it, or something like that. If I was to go and then I guess if I was to go haymaker sort of stuff at the end, I think out of all the crazy things that you could get, Final Fantasy Remake Part 3 teaser trailer.
Yeah, I could see that.
They're always first PlayStation aligned, obviously, even if they come to stuff afterwards. So I feel like now's around the time I think we can start seeing at least movement some teaser trailers and movement on that. I think would be my thing, and that's a big enough. I think PlayStation. I think with the showcase, maybe it's gonna maybe the reason for the theater is more realigning the branding of big cinematic single player games as the focal point, with a lot of trailers ending with only on PlayStation with some new, like really reaffirming we're getting away from that PC shit. We're just, you want to play with this sick ass looking Wolverine game only on PlayStation. You want to play this what did I just say? What am I talking about? Final Fantasy. You want to play this only on PlayStation. Small asterisk down the bottom for the first year of exclusive. But I feel like maybe it's just like a bunch of really cinematic trailers and games, and then just reaffirming everyone's sitting there going, man, all these things that are so epic and crazy looking, you can only play them on PlayStation. We're not doing that PC crap anymore. Maybe that's maybe it's more of a rebrand. Like Xbox is doing this whole rebranding thing. Xbox! It's all in caps now, So maybe PlayStation's trying to do their own thing. So
you're saying Fair Games isn't going to be there?
I hope not.
I hope for their sake it is, but
do I care about Fair Games? No.
What about Kojima game?
If Kojima shows up, it would be at this stage, I think.
Be his horror game, right?
No, I don't reckon it would be that.
Giving him more money.
I don't reckon it'd be that. I honestly reckon if he shows up, it's still Death Stranding 2.
Like a director's cut?
I reckon it's a director's cut because he did it for the first one.
She's crazy.
But it's coming one way or another. I would be shocked if there's not a director's cut. So because it's happened before. So not super exciting announcement, but that's what if I was to pick what had
I think there was a little bit more time between.
It's been long enough.
I don't think there was.
It's been less than 12 months since that came out.
Yeah, but announced it.
Well, they kind of like semi-stealth dropped the PC version of the game. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just kind of like, hey, it's out.
All right, let's take a break to talk about a video game. Ciaran, you've played a fair chunk of Forza Horizon 6. How's your journey into Japan going?
It's a lot of fun. It's a fantastic game. It is everything that you've heard about it. Great. Like, it is fun, enjoyable racing combined with exploring the fantastically beautiful surroundings of Japan. There is 600 cars to collect, fucking mascots hidden throughout the entire fucking world to smash as you drive through, billboards to crash into. There's crazy events, probably. Maybe my only detractor so far, it seems there's not as many crazy events as other Forza games as we have had, probably, or big moments. But driving around Japan feels special. Doing the various races, the festival playlist that they've got going on at the moment of its like seasonal racetracks and seasonal events, collecting the variety of cars, the upgrades, seeing people with different designs, seeing people have fun and freedom with their designs. Forza continues to me maybe having the best licensed music soundtrack in video games. I think the different radio. Pardon?
That's a big call.
I think it is though. Like I think any of the radio stations you choose feels perfect to be playing as you're driving through. Like it's not even a game where you feel like you need to mute the audio, the music to be able to listen to something else of your own tunes. Like, I think you just find the base, like the radio station that vibes with you, and the radio naturally kind of digs in with what you are doing in the world. Are you looking for a barn fight? Are you searching for a hidden car? Are you just cruising around with friends in a convoy doing various objectives across the map? The game plays so well, it deserves that 10 out of 10 that we've seen everywhere across the board. Like it is an absolutely fantastic game, and it's living up to the expectations of why people for many years have asked, why haven't they done Japan yet? And it just kind of it's living up to that so far. So yeah, it's fantastic.
I've enjoyed. I like how they've done you can't like break the cherry blossoms, and you can't break the temples and stuff like that. And
yes,
like usually Forza, most things you can just ram through, but they're like, nah, cherry blossom trees indestructible.
Yep. Yeah, I think there is the overall like the utmost respect for both Japanese historical culture and its culture in general, but then also Japanese car culture on top of it. So much of. Yes, there are the races, but then there are these like day events where you go on road trips with NPCs in the game or do different things. And throughout those times, there is NPCs giving you almost historical tours of the world and talking you through different things and talking you through what inspires the Japanese people's love of cars. And, we know so much, of course, from drifting or, the cultural phenomenon that was Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. But so much of it is explored in this game in the utmost respect and love and care that it is absolutely enjoyable. And so like even to the point where I didn't even play this on Game Pass. I bought this on Steam. I think my mentality for games, especially for Xbox games at the moment, is I'm not going to rely on Game Pass anymore because, as mentioned in kind of our previous segment, like the Steam machine is something I am interested in and excited for, so I want to start making sure that the catalog of games isn't just confined to that, because we don't know for Steam Machine if Game Pass will be accessible. Most likely, but I'm enjoying it. It's really fun. And the minute, even especially buying it on Steam and you log into Xbox, you're getting the Steam achievements and the Xbox achievements at the same time. So if achievements are
double Chivos,
you get the double. You get all your Steam filled out and your Xbox page filled out at the same time. Yeah. It's a fantastic game.
You tried to play this on Steam Deck at all?
No, I have not. No, my dad currently has my Steam Deck, so
Cable Ciaran got the
Cable
Steam
Ciaran
Deck?
has my Steam Deck currently. Yes,
what's he playing?
He reached. Get
him on the show.
He reached out. He messaged me a couple of weeks ago and said, "Ciaran, do you have a Steam account?" And I said, "Yes, Dad, I do have a Steam account. Why? What are you playing? What's going on?" He goes, "Oh well, there's this game coming out that I'd really like to try, and it's only coming out on Steam. So if I could borrow your account, I'll try it on a laptop." And I said, "Well," I looked up the game. It's called The Caribou Trail. It is a World War I non-fictional documentary style video game.
I'm actually interested in playing this as well. It looks intriguing.
And I saw it, and I was like, "Well, do you want to borrow my Steam Deck? Like, it is probably easier for you to use. It'll most likely, I would say, 95% run this game."
I think it's run it quite fine.
Yeah, run it quite fine. Looking at it, I'm like, it'll be fine. I said, "Do you want to borrow it?" He said, "Yes, please." So he's had my Steam Deck for like the last 2 weeks.
So what's he been playing then?
He's been playing Caribou Trail. I haven't actually talked to him about what else he has. I have my Steam Deck.
There's no way he hasn't just played he's dove into some other shit. He's
Oh,
got
100% he has. I said, look, he goes, oh, the other games I can play. I said, Dad, I have 896 games on my Steam library. Like, dig through and download some stuff. Like, you're fine.
Choices up to you, so
100%. 100%.
Yeah, we'll find out for us, hey?
I will find out this week. I'll provide an update next week on Capable Kieran and his
Capable Kieran's Steam Deck Adventures.
Steam Deck Adventures, yeah, 100%.
I don't know. I'm looking at Kieran's Steam account, and there's only 0.7 hours into Caribou Trail. One achievement, so.
Oh, maybe it hasn't run that well. Maybe he's playing offline. It hasn't sunk. I will find out. Maybe it hasn't gone so well. I will ask the question. I haven't asked him about it yet, so I will ask him.
Wi-Fi's not working.
Look, he might have run like shit. He just didn't tell me.
Instead of messaging and be like, "How can I get this around?" He's like, "No, fuck it."
Yeah, no. I'll see him next weekend. I'll actually see him Thursday night. We're going to the footy Thursday night, so I will. I'll ask him then. I'll have an update.
Before we dig into this wonderful game of football together, Father.
Yes.
How goes the Steam Deck, sir?
Yes. Yes, exactly.
All right. Sort of as I hinted at before, I want to get your thoughts on the Xbox rebrand. So it seemed like a joke at first, but Xbox is now officially called Xbox in all caps. Why? Ash, explain.
Well, they put out a Twitter poll, right? Ash's Schweimer put out a Twitter poll. Is it Xbox with the capital X and then the rest lowercase, or full case, and full case one? So I guess this is another case of her listening to the fans as to what they want, and they put it full caps. I think it's just a small,
really is,
Yep. I think it's as simple as that.
What makes me laugh is though, like it is like Xbox is either their own marketing team or a marketing team they have paid for, where they've turned around and said, "Hey, we're just going to ask the fans what they want, and then we'll make it that." They're probably paying stupid amounts of money for this marketing as well.
Why wasn't all lowercase an option?
Why wasn't uppercase X, lowercase B, O, and uppercase X an option?
Should have all the available combinations. I spell it like X lowercase box.
I spell it X -box.
Do you really?
Okay, no, that's wrong.
That's a problem.
No, you should. That
ain't it.
Shouldn't be a thing,
No.
I think that's actually a separate device.
Sorry, EX -box.
That's even worse. Boxes you store your X's in? That's crazy.
Oh, dear. All right, continuing on the Xbox chain. Eurogamer writes, Xbox hires analysts who said games were losing the attention battle with gambling, crypto, and porn as chief strategy officer in another leadership revamp. Microsoft's newly appointed game boss, Asher Sharma, has made more leadership changes at Xbox, this time hiring a handful of executives to help lead the company. That includes an industry analyst who said games were losing the attention more to gambling, porn, and crypto. That analyst is Matthew Boll, who joins Xbox as Chief Strategy Officer, the Game Business reports, as is reportedly tasked first and foremost with strengthening the console side of Xbox, especially in the light of rising component costs. Boll worked previously as the head of strategy at Amazon Studios and more recently as venture capitalist and market advisor. He's the author of the book The Metaverse, which explains what the concept is and why it's important, not to be confused with Facebook owner Meta's expansive technological flop, and the annual State of Video Gaming report. It was that report earlier this year that Boll referenced the attention war games are fighting with booming technologies like TikTok, crypto, AI apps, and OnlyFans. Xbox is also hiring a new chief technology officer in Scott Van Villet, who has had an AI-focused background at Microsoft, but has worked in games as well. He apparently worked at Amazon Game Studios and helped lead the digital play team at toy manufacturer Mattel. Villet's job is reportedly to improve how Xbox builds products. Blah, 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 blah. So what do we think of these two new positions and people behind them? Firstly, I think the interesting one is Matthew Ball, who I can't remember, I think it was maybe just Ash on the episode when we talked about it, but we did talk about that comment earlier this year about games losing attention span to porn, crypto, and TikTok and stuff like that. So that person is now working at Xbox. What do you reckon of that, Ash?
I don't know. It's interesting that Asha Swama's like continuing to add more people in leadership positions around her. Like, yeah, I don't know what else you can take from that other than, you know, getting new voices in at the top of Xbox to kind of move the needle, I guess.
I think it's an interesting one solely because it's someone who's outwardly spoken about video games losing its market share. Like someone who's just adamantly like saying video games that used to be the kids, quote unquote, the kids' is most like when we were kids, what we do when we got home is like play video games, maybe a bit of MySpace, MSN messaging, I don't know, AOL, whatever, you know. But the options and the stuff were there. It's like mostly we growing up got home from school and was playing video games, right? Kids these days are getting home from school and video games are losing the battle because kids aren't jumping on to play video games. They're not jumping on to read books or watch movies either. They're laying on the couch, doom scrolling for 3 hours until dinner's ready on TikTok or Instagram Reels. And then as they get older, his report is saying that adults are now spending less time playing video games because they're too busy either doing combination of TikTok doom scrolling and or also spending a bunch of money on OnlyFans creators and wasting away time on that. So you've got someone who's outwardly saying the video game industry is in a bit of a decline now working at Xbox, which I think is a positive. Ciaran, what do you think?
I think there's lots of things that are, you know, potential to go from with it. It's, I don't know. Is anybody losing anything to porn anymore? Considering everybody's getting porn blocked nowadays. You know, porn's harder than ever to access. Well, no, the states. No, the states in America that are starting to block them. So, like, Pornhub is being blocked in more states in America as well now. So
it's crazy. Everyone suddenly lives in Venezuela.
The number of Venezuelan IPs is like way up.
Yeah.
But no, it's. I think it is fair, but at the same time, I think that's the thing. I don't think now. I don't want to say nowadays. Nowadays makes me sound so fucking old. But when was the last time you heard younger people being excited about a single player experience? You know,
I don't hang around the kids too often, but
I don't either. Like, you know, that's the thing. I don't. But when you hear about kids wanting to buy things, it's always about Fortnite or whatever multiplayer game there is to play with their friends.
Oh no, Ash, you've got a younger brother.
Yeah, Pokemon, I guess, but still, you know, a big winner. I think.
But is it mostly multiplayer things?
Still Nintendo. Yeah, maybe. I guess Pokemon Pokopia was multiplayer, I guess. So yeah, it's hard. There probably isn't. Well, yeah. I mean, even like thinking of like magazine covers of children's stuff, like, you know, like the Crash and the KZens and those kind of things. It is like multiplayer. Fortnite is on the cover, and Minecraft is still on the cover.
Fortnite
kind of stuff. So yeah.
Roblox.
Yes.
So no, I think your point is right, Ciaran. I'd say the kids don't get excited about single player games.
Or we don't hear about it.
We don't hear about it. But I mean, I don't. I mean, out of all the big single player games that have released in the last 10 years,
how many have been for actual kids? Very small number.
Spider-Man. Kind of.
Don't know. I guess in that you can get him to swing around, but like there's some complicated stuff and adult themes. You know? Lots of people dying.
what do you think about the other guy? So, mainly, Scott Van Villet brought in. I don't know if Xbox has ever had someone in particular whose job is to head up, improve how Xbox builds products. Is what the description of the job is being. I mean, sort of. I don't think Xbox has really had a leadership position that would feel similar to a Mark Cerny, I guess, as far as in charge of product creation and overall quality there, because it's usually just a team that shits something out and Phil Spencer would come out and just sell it sort of thing. There was no one there in a leadership position talking about those products and trying to explain how sexy it is sort of, and how well it's been built. So I don't know, Ciaran, do you picture a world where this guy's been brought out on a Xbox studio stream pitching how the next Xbox console is, in a Max anyway, or
no? And I don't think that's the thing. I don't think I've seen anybody so far that's been brought in that I'm like, oh, you're going to be the face of Xbox. You're going to be at the forefront of all the Xbox. I almost see Xbox becoming like more of a corporate persona nowadays. Like maybe we'll get a presenter or like somebody that is not a developer or not a publisher, not like a part of the leadership, but somebody representing that and talking to us through it. But I don't see.
Ben
I don't see.
Schwartz is now the
100%. Right? Like I don't see them doing anything themselves with it.
I find it interesting that it's another person coming from the AI side of Microsoft.
Yeah,
it's like they're just moving these people over from Xbox. It doesn't sound like they're replacing them on the AI side. So,
well, no, they're taking people off AI jobs to work on non-AI jobs. Is the sort of interesting thing, like, and canceling Copilot.
That's because AI took the AI jobs. That's why.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's very true.
They're experts in the field, so it makes sense.
It does make sense. Finally, let's swing it back around to GTA 6. Eurogamer writes, after 2 delays, it looks like Grand Theft Auto 6 is finally entering the home straight. If newly leaked pre-order details are any indication, it seems developer Rockstar is feeling pretty certain about GTA 6's November release date. Emails reportedly sent out to Best Buy affiliates have started popping up online, seemingly revealing the long-awaited sequel's pre-order campaign begins Monday, 18th of May. If this date does prove accurate, which did not, but the emails could still just be a placeholder date within. If the dates prove accurate, it would suggest GTA 6's most recent 19th November release date is now locked in, quelling any fans of further delay. GTA was once said to release in autumn 2025. However, in May of last year, Rockstar announced it was moving the launch date to 26th of May 2026. Alas, this date didn't stick either, and in November, Rockstar announced it was delaying GTA 6's release date once again. GTA 6 is currently scheduled to launch for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 on 19th of November, almost exactly 5 months after today's reported pre-order date. So, taking out, and then continuing. Today's report follows confirmation PlayStation has a marketing deal in place with Grand Theft Auto 6 publisher Take-Two. Sony recently urging PS4 users to upgrade to a PS5 to be able to experience the game upon release. Taking into account, which I think the email, it's a legit email leak. Someone did a little bit of a foobar, but I think the date was just whatever random date. Maybe that was sat now. I don't think that means too much, but I'm taking it as I'm reading into it just simply as they're not moving the date again. I know people have had this fear that GTA would get delayed again out of November.
Well,
so
in the Take-Two earnings call, apparently in the Take-Two earnings call, the CEO said that GTA 6 is coming out on that date. And pretty much confirmed it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you feel confident, Ciaran, that it will not get delayed again between?
I think we're at a point where if it hasn't been delayed by now, we're good. Mm-hmm. I think we're in the run up to that quote unquote old E3 period. So we'll see the game now. We'll see gameplay of the game. We'll start hearing more about it. I think there's too much expectation to see the game at this point, where it is just too late for them not to do it, to delay it now. I think
nothing short of massive backlash to whatever they show would delay the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's a Sonic movie situation, everybody's like, ugh.
What's wrong with the eyes?
I know. Why does he have teeth? Yeah. Unless there's a situation like that, this game is coming out in November, and everybody can sort of relax. We can stop the will it be delayed stories. Yeah.
As someone who still hasn't played GTA 5, my hype level is just going to sit at a timid. But either of you? No, Ash won't because he won't. Ciaran, will you take leave off to play it?
I was actually thinking while we were talking about it, I'm like, I'm probably going to book a couple of days off. And just chill out and play the game at some point. Yeah.
You and half the rest of the country, I think, probably. So
I think it's too big of a thing not to do it. Like, yeah.
Fair.
It's funny, right? Even mentally in my head, I'm like, okay, just in case the PC version isn't good, by the time GTA comes around, I need to upgrade my lounge room setup with a new TV and a new soundbar.
Now, you know it's not launching on PC, right?
Yeah, I do know that. Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. That's what I mean. Right? Like I was like, yeah. So it has to be. I have to get it on my PlayStation. So I need everything set up out there to be like the best possible. Yeah, setup for it.
You'll need to get it on PlayStation when PlayStation begins the marketing campaign in a couple of weeks that says the best place to play the game is on a PlayStation 5 with a PS5 Pro or something like that. Yeah.
That's the other thing. I'll probably end up buying a PS5 Pro.
I can picture that.
I thought of it when I was budgeting. I thought of it when
you doing that.
I thought of it when I was budgeting for the new TV and stuff, like how much money I would need, and I was like, I'm gonna end up buying a PlayStation 5 Pro at the same time, aren't I? Yeah,
you should have
do it now.
Price.
Yeah,
has the price gone up yet, or I can't remember the date. The prices they're about to go up a fair bit. So
okay, all right, okay.
Just be aware of that if you weren't already.
Okay,
so you buy the PS5 Pro, wait for the prices to go up, and then you sell your original PS5.
Yeah. Well, no, because the moment I get a PS5 Pro, I'll just take the PlayStation 5 to my dad's and be like, here.
He doesn't need it. He's just got a Steam Deck. I heard.
He's just got a Steam Deck.
He's good. He's Gucci. All right. Let us know in the comments, questions, concerns about anything we'll discuss this week on the show, or send us something to discuss next week by heading to our social media accounts at explosionnetwork.com/follow. And if you like the show and would like to support Explosion Network as well as the podcast and website, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support. And we'll see you here same time, same couch next week. Goodbye.